Depending on your environment, it is inevitable that at some point you're going to have to pull inventory items either for service or to ship out on internet orders, or to pull to give to other locations if you're a multi-location business. In this video, we're going to go through exactly what happens during a service ticket so that in the environment where we are requesting parts from service, we're requesting parts for the parts department to pull and deliver to us. So the first thing is on the service ticket, when I have turned on the option in settings to request or to use the parts department, Lizzie begins to show me a new button here to request the items. So basically what has happened here is I've added a part to the service ticket, but I'm not going to click the green button because I don't physically have the part yet. I need for the parts department to actually pull that item and deliver it to me, or at least hold on to it until I'm ready for it. So instead of clicking the green button here, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to tell the system to request those items. So I'm just going to come down here and click the request items button, and you'll notice that the options up here have gone away. Now, one thing worth noting is if you have a situation even where you're requesting parts, but you need to just quickly go get a spark plug, for example, and deliver directly to the mechanic, you can still do that by not clicking the request button and clicking the green button once you've gone and retrieved the item that you needed. Now, once that has happened, what takes place next is that in the inventory section, the parts department has been notified that they need to do a in-stock pull. Now you'll notice here that we have one item to pull, and I'm just going to tell it, and there's up here across the top we have items to pull, location transfers, which are separated from the items to pull because they're handled a little bit differently, and then our returns bin and our canceled items that we need to process. Now right now we're working in service. It'll always be an item to pull, unless it's happens to be a location transfer, but it all works fairly much the same way. So we're just going to tell it to pull the next bin, and you'll notice that Lizzie has pulled up information about the customer. It's pulled up information about the part, where the part needs to be pulled from, the original invoice that has caused this to be pulled, and then the bin location that we actually need to go put this part. So right now you can see that when I pull this item, Lizzie is going to pull the item out of stock, and she's going to do print a barcode label for this particular item that says bin service 6 on it. So I'm just going to take this part, go to the service bins, and put it in bin 6 so that when the mechanic is ready to actually work on the unit, he'll come and request the items. I'll look it up. Lizzie will tell you to go to bin 6 to get all of his items, and you deliver the items to the mechanic. So it's basically a way that I'm not having to keep up with where I'm putting the parts and what I'm doing with them. I just do what the system tells me to do with the items, and then the bin locations will just sit there and hold the items until someone's ready to get it. So at this point, I'm just going to select the plus sign here. Now, if I'm using a scanner where you're already using the barcode labels for Lizzie, instead of clicking the plus sign, I just scan the item, and two things are going to happen. One, the part's going to get pulled, but the second thing is that you're going to get a barcode label instantly that has the customer's information, the mechanic's information, and the service bin 6 on it, so I know exactly where that thing needs to go and what it was for. So you got two options here for actually selecting this pull. Now once you get the proper quantity here, we're just going to tell it to pull the items. And now the inventory, or the inventory has been reduced, but the invoice that was waiting on this particular item has now got a deliver items control over here that has it on there waiting for it. And you can see here that it's in bin service 6. So whenever the mechanic is ready to get the parts department knows exactly where they're at.